Okay, for this week's magic and spell work, we're going to talk about dolls. I don't know of anything bigger than right now than dolls, especially haunted dolls. Haunted dolls have never been bigger on eBay, on everywhere you go. Everybody wants one, everybody apparently has one. So, there's more to life than haunted dolls. Haunted dolls are great. I must say, my little Belle there, you if you ever watched me and see her moving around in the back, she is great. If you do want to get a haunted doll like her, just be careful because just like with spirits, with ghosts, you don't want a bad haunted doll. You don't want an evil haunted doll. As fun as that sounds, it's not fun. You might have a mischievous haunted doll, and that's great. And again, when I first got her, somebody saw me on actually Ghost Adventures. Deadly Possessions, and I was with Peggy the doll, the very, very haunted who gives people heart attacks, Peggy the doll. And they figured if I could handle Peggy, I could handle Belle. So they sent me Belle. She had such a bad spirit in her. I didn't want my hair to fall out like the girl who had her, so I banished the evil spirit. She was still a haunted doll. This beautiful little girl spirit came out. So I still have a haunted doll, but it's not anybody's going to make me sick, my dog sick, my husband sick, my cat sick. So be very careful. And the biggest warning about haunted dolls is like, use your own intuition. If you're listening to this show or you're into this little world, you probably have a pretty good intuition, or you wouldn't be probably watching. If something sounds too good to be true and too perfect of a doll to be true, and they're probably charging too much for it, make sure you really think it's haunted. If you're on eBay and you see somebody listing and they have more haunted dolls than you've ever seen in your life all listed, and they're a regular haunted doll seller, be wary. Be wary that you're really getting a haunted doll because I'm sorry to say, almost most of the people I know who've got haunted dolls, they weren't haunted at all. I could teach you how to bring a spirit into a doll, so create your own haunted doll. And in all honesty, you're probably, with the intuition that most of you have, you're going to be easier at picking a haunted doll at your local thrift store, Goodwill, out of the closet, or even antique store where you can get some nice antique dolls. So trust your gut, trust your intuition. And then if you do get one that seems to have a spirit attached, or you call one in, make sure it's a good spirit. It could be mischievous, yes. It could move things around your house, yes. It could be like Belle, yes, that closes and opens her eyes, moves her head, stares at people, frightens people, enjoys people. But nothing that makes you sick. You don't want sick. And also, like this doll, I've talked about her before. This is Cheryl. This is my friend Cheryl. A friend of mine sent her because she thought Belle needed a friend, so she's named after the girl. I was sitting here teaching my class one day, and I'm looking into the camera like this, teaching whatever. I think I was psychic protection, maybe. And my little Cheryl doll all of a sudden moved into frame like this. Now, it wasn't me doing what I'm right now because both my hands were on camera on screen. There was nobody else home. I didn't even notice because I'm talking into my Zoom screen. Other people did notice. We could not debunk it, but I'm like, Cheryl is not haunted. Cheryl is not haunted. There is no spirit here. But I blew up the video and I actually saw, we could see an orb coming out of my bookcase into the doll, literally moving the doll and then leaving. So remember, it's not always the doll that's haunted. Sometimes it's things moving the thing. And if you were a spirit, why dolls are so good is if you were a spirit and you wanted something to go into. You could go into a bell. Yeah, it could, a haunted bell. But how much more fun is it to go into something with eyes and ears and mouth? And I've talked about it in magical too, how a lot of people create their bone or their familiar out of something with a skull so you could talk to it. You could breathe into it, just like we do with our dragons. But there's a lot of other kind of dolls you could have too. You could have dolls like Barbie dolls. You can make Barbie dolls magic, classic glamour Barbie dolls. Yes. Believe me, I have an entire witches coven of beautiful witchy Barbie dolls of the classic style. I have goddess Barbie dolls. I have movie superhero Barbie dolls. And they could just be dolls that you play with or you display, or you can give them superpowers. Even if that superpower is to remind you that you have superpowers. Maybe Scarlett Johansson over here, who has a great big helmet on, maybe she could remind you how strong you are on days you forget. Maybe Glamour Barbie could remind you, if she's sitting next to your bedside, that you're as glamorous as you choose to be. And then there's puppet dolls. No, this isn't a voodoo doll. This is a magical puppet. Make one for yourself. Stuff it with beautiful things like crystals and moss and magical herbs and oils. This one has my name, so it's me. And if I get a headache, which I don't let myself, but if I get a headache, I stick pins in my doll. It's just like acupuncture. My headache goes away. If you have dolls around your house, protective dolls like kitchen witches, that's like a kitchen witch, but it's not in my kitchen, so it's my office witch. A kitchen witch will, besides keep things from overboiling in your kitchen, it will run all the spirits and fetishes within your house and keep them going. So remember, you have a fairy, bring fairy magic into your life. You have Glenda, you want a little good witch. This is a nice antique Glenda, though I have a Barbie Glenda too. Dolls don't have to be scary, but they can be. They don't have to just be a piece of plastic or porcelain or wood or glass or thing, but they can be. But why not make them magical? You're magical people. You're watching the witching hour. So grab a baby, boys and girls alike. What I like now that everybody likes haunted dolls, starting with Zach Bagans, the first thing he showed me when we were doing the Peggy the Doll seance at the museum, before the museum was a museum, is he showed me his doll collection. How cool is that? So I love that everybody's okay with dolls now. So why not make them magic? Why not empower them to empower you? That's today's magic lesson. Dolls. How cool is that?